Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be watching episodes 8 and 9 of Hibike Euphonium Season 3. Pretty excited to be here, learning more about the Hibike Euphonium crew. Excited, pumped, any other word you want to use for what I'm feeling right now. As I said last week, I think we're going to keep going with this structure of 1 then 2, 1 then 2, all the way through to the end. To my knowledge, you guys are... episode 10 is out at the moment. Maybe 11 very soon. I don't know when it comes out during the week. But yeah, not that far behind. So I'm catching up slowly but surely. Again, as I said, I want to do 12 the week it comes out, if that makes any sense. So I think I'm catching up pretty well in that regard. But what I will do is I'll get up the YouTube comment from last week. Just the one comment from the Patreon from Pencil Sharp. So yeah, if there's anybody else using the Patreon for Hibike Euphonium, hey, you guys can comment if you want and teach me stuff about the series. Again, your prerogative entirely, of course. So let's dive in here. A second episode by Yamamura. 4 and 7. Yeah, no, episode 4 was the Matomu thing. So, Yamamura. Let me look that up. Oh yeah, this guy was like the guy that that has worked on like every single Kyoto Animation thing. Like, look at all this shit. It's like everything. Those are some damn good episodes of well, one of them is of Violet Evergarden as well. That's interesting. Okay, sure. And yeah, this is the one I missed last week. This one sure had a lot of fermatas. Now, follow me on this one as well, chat room. Now, this is what a fermata is. I think it's something about a pause or something, which also adds to what the episode is about. But what does this also look like if you have your mind in the gutter? Yeah, and the swimsuit episode. It's a boob joke, everybody. Another boob joke which I have missed, which I'm doing that a lot lately. I'm doing that a lot. But moving swiftly onwards, the B competition was technically explained in season 1, but we didn't have enough members to compete back then, so it's not easy to remember. It only goes up to city level, I believe. So there won't be a Kansai whatever Monica is doing. There won't be that competition. Okay, fair enough. Nakayoshi River appearance? Oh my god. Very, very true. They have matching hairpins, open and closed repeat symbols too, because music. Just seeing them overall was very, very nice, but there's also the Natsuki Kaho stuff, which is specifically because they're playing the same instrument. Remember, she doesn't own the instrument, it belongs to, well, certain people own instruments. Like, I'm pretty sure, didn't Asuka own her instrument? Or am I being stupid? I don't know. It seemed like she did. I think Reina owns a trumpet. Why wouldn't you bring your own trumpet? Anyway, I'm getting off track. But they belong to the school. They're going to be passed on and on and on and on, right? And that's what happened with Natsuki and Kaho. So that's the special connection when she kind of looks over to Kaho and sees the instrument. It's like, oh yeah, the next generation, that kind of vibe, which is cool. This also reminds me that Kumiko plays a school instrument. Maybe we will reuse said instrument when she's teaching later in the show. I'm gonna imagine like the last 5 minutes of episode 12, if I was to guess. Kanade outwardly rejects the sweets, but sneaks one later. Okay, so that's when they're looking down from the kind of room on the top level, looking down to her in like the quad, and she's just kind of walking away with a sweet. Another cute moment, but goes to show that people grow up and people change, which was the point of the scene. Kind of Reina and Yuko breaking bread per se as well, right? Not that they even need to anymore because they've grown up. Again, more to the overall season's theme about growing up and changing and whatever else, right? Coming of age. It's all in there. And I had the theory last week that we're talking about a lottery in so much as like Yuko was sour grapes about her experience and thought it was just a lottery that people get through to nationals. But no, apparently it's like really hard to get tickets. So hopefully they get some and everybody comes along and it's a big old Hibike Euphonium reunion. That's all we can hope. Also, thanks for reading my comments. Words are hard, but Hibike is worth the effort. I don't know. I like talking about the show. I had a similar comment on Utena this week as well from somebody else. I don't mind reading the comments. I like talk. That's why I'm doing this. I like doing this. Just yeah. A lot of people get uncomfortable about this kind of stuff. Like I'll skip stuff which I don't think is worthy of discussion. Let's put it that way. Either way, let's bounce out of that one and onto that Patreon shout out. I mustn't forget. I'll tell you one thing I am noticing very, very quickly is I'm going to like finish all of my shows at the same time, basically. So if I keep doing 2 a week of Dungeon Meshi, I've got about not long, 5 weeks, something like that, 6 weeks if we're doing it at a stretch, right? I've only got a few episodes left of this, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and then of Utena I've got maybe 5 or 6 as well. So there's going to be a lot of changeover on the channel all at the same time, which I don't think I've seen before, not with 3 different series. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of polls, and I bring it up because the Patreon, you get extra poll votes, so I'm going to be shilling that one a little bit as well. So I'm going to put lots of good stuff on those polls. If you want to influence what I watch next, then paying me money is a good way to do that. I don't know. Let me just read out the names. Thank you to Any Greg, Mickey Babbers, Trouse Plus Plus, Adley, Bobbin, Chobo Ribby, Domobot, Ed, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Gus N, Heath, Ika, Yako Yavanen, Jacob R, Joran, Clem, Nosta, Lou, Max, Mish, Nick, Pencil Sharp 333, Ron Lad BNK, Sam1373, Skeleton, Victoria S, Without a Net, Zach, Binchy, Hans Peter, Kelvin Cawthorn, Marsh, Aidan O'Brien, and Shawk. Thank you very much for giving me money again. I enjoy that. It's very good. Either way, let's dive into the actual show, shall we? Predictions. What do I think is going to happen next? Well, we're kind of alluding to the camp, and with the camp comes another audition. There was obviously Kumiko's attempt to make things better with Mayu last week, which didn't go to plan. As I said last week, felt a little bit tokenistic, felt like it was an afterthought, felt like it was ticking a box rather than trying to make a genuine friend. However, it was good for Kumiko in one way, in so much as she was learning information. So now she knows it's a bigger problem. She knows something's fucked up there that she needs to dive into. Even if she can't tick it off immediately, at least she's aware of the threat. Put it that way. Which is, again, is half the battle. So nobody gets blindsided by anything. At least I hope not. Either way, we've got a lot of storylines running into auditions. Of course, there's the whole UFO drama, like with how many UFOs are we going to take, who's going to perform, who's going to miss out, who's going to do the solely with Reina, all that kind of stuff. There's the Suzume Sachan stuff, where Michan is advocating for one thing over the other. Reina spreading this thing about an absolute meritocracy when that's not really Taki's go. It's part of it, but it's not entirely that. On top of that, we have just running themes through the rest of the season. What's Kumiko going to do after school? Teaching, but how is she going to learn that? Parent drama, Reina drama. What are we doing with Shuichi? We just parking that. Club drama, presidency, lots of stuff to dive into. Let's just let the show do what it does. And yeah, we'll jump into episode 8. You can join the Discord. It's free in the description. It's up to you. And subscribe to my channel right now if you haven't. Right now. And like the video, do all that kind of stuff, the normal show stuff. Anyway, I'm going to get up episode 8 after it finishes downloading here. Rightio, I have episode 8 up there ready to go. I should mention structurally, I need to go to work in like 2 hours, so I'm going to watch these and then kind of analyze them tomorrow. But it's also a late early, so I might just have a Red Bull and get it done. Anyway, that's for me to figure out. 24 minutes and 57 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your copy, of course. As always, there'll be that picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. And yeah, just going to give this a 3, 2, 1 and jump right in. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Camera. Oh yeah, I forgot about Hazuki being a Chad. And swapping swimsuits? I remember now. A week is a long time. That's all I'm trying to say. It's like sometimes people get mad at me for not like remembering details from like episode 4 of a 25 episode show, and I'm like, I've been watching this weekly, big dog. And I've got other shit going on. Hibike Euphonium. I'm excited. Don't punch me. I'm keen to see how we build up towards a climax, because obviously the drama's going to be ramped up here at some point. Probably by the end of the 2 episodes I'm watching today. We haven't seen one performance yet. Dunno. A lot of imagery in this opening is about a rift between Reina and Kumiko as well, so question marks. The opening slaps, which it always does. Ririka on screen. This feels like the culmination. That's what I like most about this opening. I mean, that's the benefit of doing a season 3 finale type thing. There's investment there. Cicadas. So true. They had it tough too. Get good. Oh my god. Raina's fucking. She's cracking that whip. That's all I'm saying. Interesting. That's a lot of work for the night. I guess you know who's good and who's not, kind of already. So there'll only be minimal changes. Also, Tanki's like business casual at the moment. I'm kind of liking it. Ostinato. I don't know what that is. Is this the same place? Oh, they're doing an Encon? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Jump scare. What an odd thing to say. You terrify me. Okay. Mm-hmm. That walking, huh? She could have meant that. She's funny. Mayu's fucking with her head. Are they the same old pit? Yep. We know. Based. Mmm. Very cool. It's a bit scary. Like tonight, we audition again for the step we couldn't get past last time, Kansai. A lot of pressure. Oh, I doubt it. Oh. And of course, you're the one pressing that button. He likes a thick ass? That's okay, that's great. She tried to hit the buttons, but it didn't work because he's grown up. It most certainly is. Who's in the background there? Oh, big Asuka vibes. Huh. Cute. A little bit special, but you know. Nice pout. Interesting. I will. I'll pay attention to that, Taki. Sabame? Yeah. They're all fucking cracking the whip too. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Everyone's pumped up. Why do I remember the curry? I think they had that last time. No, I'm on a date right now. You're smart, Kanade. You're smart. It's in the tap. Oh, she's so funny. She's kind of mean, but it's funny. I don't know. Yeah, in like an hour. Odd. Yeah. What? Talk to me. Of course I do. Hmm. How late are these auditions? This is clearly the episode where we're going to do what I've been predicting, right? Clearly. Also, that's another instance of Raina coming in and interrupting their little moment. Happened at the pool as well. I don't think you're good. She's very good. That's still a very good skill. Well, good thing we have another audition. How late are these auditions in the night? It can't be healthy. Oh no, I'm an early bird. I'll wake up early in the morning rather than stay up. I'd be in bed. I'd be like asleep. I kind of wish I watched two last week. This seems like way more continuation from last week. No. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say as well. There's a bit of ego there, but I think she's right. She's got good instinct. She knows how good she is. She just went and blurted out the subtext, which I really like. I remember. I was there. Hmm. It's a really, really, really good scene. Because I'm also thinking about what they're saying in context with the Sachan Suzume stuff and what Taki actually wants. Does he want the best player? Does he want the one that works the best in the group? Yes. What? What's the big news? Okay. Uh, I think that's the best thing to do. I wonder what it is. Also, on the night of auditions, couldn't have chosen a better time. Very interesting placement of that scene as well, between everything. So Mayu's gonna win, right? Probably. Love this song. Always say it. We're aware. Building contrast. Okay. We will see. Funny. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Listen to what he said. But are you equally capable? I'm thinking about my own shit. Interesting. I'm gonna keep it forever. What do you mean by that? How did Hazuki go? Not Hazuki, Midori go? How did that thing go? I want to hear about that. Let's see. I think it's happening right now. You two are my favorites. Yeah. 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 Love a good puppy waltz. How'd the thing go? How'd it go? Oh, that. Okay. Clearly Hazuki thought it was the other thing, but I thought it was that thing maybe as well. That's great. Well, that doesn't help me. It's interesting that the audience is in the dark too. Hmm. Everyone's getting each other drinks. Okay. Sure. Now, who won? Tell me right now. God, not a 5 a.m. start. Again, preferable to staying up for me, but still. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I know what you're thinking about. Oh, she looks so much younger. Yeah, okay. That was the postcard that she got in the end of Thingo, right? Chikano finale. Still don't know what the sunflowers are about. Or maybe I did learn that and then I forgot because I'm dumb. But look, she's doing an Oscar. Probably very similar shot construction wise too. It's interesting that you brought your UFO out here too. You were trying to do the Oscar. Cute. uh, Run. All right. Where are we? Yeah, okay. It's going to be the last thing. It's true. No way. She made it? Great. Ooh, I'm getting nervous. Yeah, okay, she made it. Kanade? Whoa, no way. Get shit on. When do we hear about the solo, whatever? Oh, okay. Oh, both. Oh, shit. Oh, we're talking about multiple tubers as well. Here we go. Mayu. It's gotta be. Okay. No eyes. Yep. Oh, I didn't know that there was a marimba solo. Yeah. Mayu Kuroe. Yeah. Oh shit. Kumiko's reaction there was fantastic. Yeah, I mean, oh, that was a great pause there, though. I want to pause and talk about this episode right now, but I can't because I'll run out of time elsewhere. Because there's so much to talk about in this one episode in particular. I think one of the most telling details about the whole thing was that small scene at the very end with Suzume and Sachan, right? Where despite them having drama and a bit of a breakup and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, because of the first audition, now they're working together and they're trying to get better, and there's like a healthy competition to it. I love that. I love that, and I think it's an indicator of where we're going with Kumiko and Mayu long term. I think everything's going to be okay in the end. Is my point. That was a great build up, though. Maybe a little bit of butterflies, that kind of thing. I think an unsaid element thus far as well has been how Kumiko and Reina are kind of the celebrities of the club. So it will ripple through the club in so much as they know how close these two are together. They're always hanging out together. They're always leading the club together. So them not being the two people in the soli, right? That's going to send ripples out and drama everywhere else, right? They're invested in Kumiko's journey. Drama could sprout from this, for sure, for sure. And again, I can continue saying the same things. It's the continuation of the split in Kumiko between what's best for the club and best for her own playing. Obviously. Again, as I said, I would love to stop and talk about that episode right now because there was a ton there. A ton. But we're going to jump right into episode 9. So yeah, I'm going to do that right now. I kind of need to catch my breath a little bit though. Rightio, episode 9. Up there ready to go. I am recording, which is good. 24 minutes and 57 seconds on this one. Sync up accordingly with your own copy, or there is a picture-in-picture version in the description below. I don't think I said it before, but it is the subs please version. Should be very similar to what everybody else has. So yeah, just going to give this a 3, 2, 1 and jump right in. Radio. 3, 2, 1, go. I want to see the backlash here. Because I feel like that's a knowing look of like, it's fantastic animation as well, but it's a knowing look of you know what's going to happen now because of what you did. But again, I said from a long way out, there's only one reason why you set up multiple auditions for this season. It's so you can do what you're doing right now, you know? The idea of 3 as well. Act 1, establishment. Act 2, dip, drama, change. 3, come back out of it stronger. right? That's why we're doing 3 auditions there. The one I want to watch specifically is Reina. I want to see how Reina reacts to this. Because she's been very clear from the start that she wants to play with Kumiko. And even secretly, there's been a theme in the season kind of Reina being, not secretly, but in a little bit of a tsundere way, really attached to Kumiko. Like, I don't think it's not, how should I phrase this? I don't think it's a coincidence every single time that Kumiko and Mayu start talking that Reina shows up and pulls her out of it for whatever, right? Like, hey, we need to practice this solely, me and you, right now. Let's pull you away from this. I think she's secretly kind of jealous, at least a little bit. Okay, straight back in. Everyone else, up you get, Kanade. She's stunned. You do, though. Give her a hug. No, you're not. Or something. Yeah. So, I didn't think about it from that perspective, right? Sachan making it kind of fucked over Kanade. I'm aware. What's this one called? Dissonant tuning. Okay. Sounds like drama. More cicadas. Yeah. I keep that Glock on me. Oh, yeah. What's this tone? Yeah, loosen up. Not the time, brother. No, they're really tense. Oh no. Alright, that's better. I know. Get a room, you two. Clearly no. Oh no. This is terrible. The vibe's off. I like this framing though. Just lie. Just keep lying. Nope. Just bottle up those emotions. Don't let them out. That's the best way to go. I know. It's a complicated feeling. I'm with you. But you must remember to be compassionate to those others as well that just completely lost out. You only just remembered. Yeah. What do you mean? Okay, it's a very objective way to look at it. Give her a hug. You know what I'm waiting for in the third audition? Kaho-chan's sweep. She's going to be the only UFO player. Everyone else is going to miss. Kaho's supremacy. I think he's being very tactical. No, I think he's doing just the right thing. Yeah, let's fucking riot. Let's protest. Now, there's definitely a meta layer to this for me. Great. Well, I know that Taki's making the correct decision because that's how the story should go to make a satisfying ending. In the moment, I could see why the characters would think he's being a bit fucked up. Why is he so pissed off? I don't know why. Anyway, is it a Kumiko thing? Maybe. Yeah, let's have a chat, you two. Interesting. I thought you'd be in my corner. This means you need to buckle down and get better. Interesting. Interesting. She's gonna go beat him up. She's gonna fight them in the car park? Stop scaring them. Authoritarian. Yeah, but yeah. You feel more strongly about it, Reina. You're very conflicted right now, more than you're putting on. Okay. Classic stuff. Well, maybe you should dress up as a ghost and scare people. Oh, that's something. A little bit. Yeah. Just been there since day dot. You're a good player. A different perspective. I like that. And yeah, obvious metaphor here. True. Cute. Maybe you two are closer than we let on. Ew. Hair sniffer. What? What? You clearly are. Of course not. Yeah, because I care about you. This is cute. There's one more audition, baby. Yes. What? Okay. Not very personable. Hmm. No, I don't think that was correct either. Yeah, unresolved frustrations, huh? Again, I tried to talk about it before. Taki is working with intangibles. He sees the club and the problems and wants to get through them before the end. It's good that everyone's invested, though. That's not correct either. That's not correct. Raina is so interesting this episode. God, I can talk about that for ages. Remember the scene in like episode 1 where Reina and Shuichi were talking? Get shit on. Hazuki in like contrast to everyone else is so funny. She's just doing her thing. Pissed off Reina. uh, what's gonna break this funk? Maybe we should talk with the big fella. Everyone keeps saying that. Clearly. Yeah. That's why she keeps coming up to you and asking if it's okay. Based. Oh yeah, Hazuki being somebody that's lost auditions. I'm leaving. Yeah. Hmm. Just be honest. Say what you're feeling. This is better though. Damn. Well, this is clearly the falling out that was forecast in that opening. I don't think Reina believes that, though. I somehow get that feeling, too. It's a random dog. Cute. Give her a hug. So yeah, specifically she's on the bike because she's not taking the train. Yeah, no, she ain't gonna be here, big dog. Still looking for her, though. Cool. Let's have a chat. You kind of are, though. Have a chat. Quickly. Interesting. I really want to see that conversation. I fully trust Taki, but not for the reasons Reina trusts him. Reina trusts him because Reina believes that it's an absolute meritocracy. He can't be wrong. She likes him. She's glazing. All those kind of things, right? I think Taki is right because he's an adult and is seeing everything objectively from far away in the entire club. It hasn't been smooth sailing up to now, right? In this season. Something needed to change. And again, they're practicing hard enough. It's an intangible thing that needs to change in the club. And he knows that, and he's trying to. It's risky, but he's trying to put some drama into the club to make them work out their issues, to even make Kumiko come forward and do this kind of thing. You know, question the teacher, bring back that teacher theme as well. To the point of betterment for the nationals, right? So much of how good they're playing is based on the vibe of the group, right? Right? Think about season 1. We only started playing really well once we had sorted out all that Yuko nonsense, right? Like, the emotion of the club is tied so much to how well they play. And Taki realizes that, and that's the changes he's making. So I can kind of see everything that's happening thus far as almost a good thing. Almost. And yeah, we'll continue with that tomorrow. But yeah, continuing my point, I don't think Taki's wrong. I think he's trying to get people to challenge him, which is important as well. So yeah, but obviously there's a ton there. I don't think Reina's being entirely honest with herself either. She's really frustrated because she inherently really respects and likes Taki, right? But she also has a strong connection to Kumiko, and now she's kind of caught between that rock and a hard place. And then Mayu's in the middle of it, just trying to like put out fires. Yeah, it's I think again the reveal of what happened isn't surprising. I think that's very well telegraphed, but how they're doing it and the different characters it's affecting has been very, very interesting for me personally, and I will have a fuck ton to talk about tomorrow. So I'll see you then, but thanks for watching, of course. And we're back. I guess it's been 2 days now because work is awful and they stuffed up my schedule, which is really awesome and makes it hard to work around them. But anyway, we're not going to focus on that. We're here to talk about Hibike Euphonium. Yeah, obviously 2 episodes, or at least the ending of the second episode there, with a lot of drama, a lot of, I guess, fan expectation being shattered. I guess. But people were stressed on Twitter. I've seen this, right? I've seen people be kind of fucked up about this episode. But I don't know about you, but I feel like every single piece in the show is telling me that everything's going to be okay. So I'm fine with it. I think, again, I've been looking at this thing pretty closely. Uh, I think we're going to be okay. I think Kumiko and Reina, at the end of everything going on, are going to have some kind of meetup again, and everything is going to be fine, right? I mean, even the very obvious take, which is just look at the opening, right? Pretty sad, pretty wintry, right? And then we're gonna come out on the other side, and Kumiko's gonna pull me out of something. Look at that, and it's gonna be all springtime and stuff. I don't know. Kumiko representing spring, Rain representing winter. I don't know. There's something in that. Playing the solely in the winter portion of Hitatose no Uta, which is the song they're playing, uh, and coming out of that into the spring, supposedly, because it would go summer, autumn, winter, spring, I believe. Sure, there's something in that. That, as well as the other one I had on screen, which is literally like the first scene of this episode, right? So we have these two. Hello Hazuki and hello I'm not going to call him Tsukumoto-kun. I'm going to call him Shuichi. These two, this is a reference to a scene in season 1, something like that, season 1 or season 2, during their first year, and there was drama there. There was tension, there was romantic feelings one way and that weren't reciprocated another way, and Kumiko was somewhat tangentially involved as well. There was stuff going on, right? But I think what this scene here represents the most is that these two have gotten over it. Like, time kind of heals all wounds in a way. Like, Hazuki is just like goals through this entire like season basically. Like, look at this. Take this, please. No more like weird feelings or anything. Nothing the other way. They're just getting the job done. And I think that's mainly what we can look forward to with Kumiko and Reina. I mentioned in the end of episode 8, there's a similar scene at the end of here, if I can find it, between, it's like the girls at the lunch table. Just before this? Yeah, right there. It's like, oh yeah, I didn't know you two were so close now. It turns out, after the turmoil of the first audition, we worked some shit out, and it turns out that healthy competition is good for the both of us. And guess what? Both of them ended up making it, right? I think both of you, because we had the extra tuba, right? So, like, you know what I mean? Every piece of the episode for me, and these two episodes in particular, is pushing towards everything going to be okay. And I want to keep reiterating that, just so people don't get into a little bit of a tizzy about it. I also think, just because, let me go off on a little bit of a tangent as well. I think a lot of people could look at Taki and be like, Taki, you're being super mean right now. Boo, 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 boo. And I think, again, there's a meta layer to that where he's actually talking the truth, and whatever he's going to say in this next episode is going to bring us up out of this rut, whatever it may be. I think there's going to be a longer conversation there. And if there isn't, I think there should have been. But I think Reina in particular is misconstruing Taki as a character, right? So Reina, what's Reina about? Reina's about trying your hardest, complete focus, blah, 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 high standards, want to win, competitiveness, all these kind of things, right? These are the tickets to success. These are the tickets to being successful in life, right? And it's not incorrect. It's not incorrect. It is part of it. But I think some of what Kumiko has going on with the club presidency stuff and focusing on everybody's well-being and how good they are and blah, 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 is also an important step to growing up. As always, the true answer is in the middle of the two extremes that Kumiko is pulled between, right? Do I do what's best for the club and the people of the club, or do I do what's best for myself and my own playing, my own whatever else, right? I think this same thing has happened over the course of Taki's life. And this is me reading into subtext a little bit as well, because I think Taki, in a lot of ways early in his life, was a lot like Reina, right? And that's where a lot of his drive came from. I think he comes from a music family as well. Like, you know, and that kind of rubbed off on Reina. Apparently they met when they were younger, right? Family friends, I think, was the connection there. And I think, again, that rubbed off on Reina. Reina took a liking to Taki, started to like him romantically at a point as well, and then, you know, kind of her whole personality was almost based off that one interaction, right? Now, Taki, something tumultuous happened in Taki's life, and potentially that changed his perspective somewhat and made him want to move more into teaching, because I didn't think he was in teaching in the past, and now he is. So, and again, the thing I'm referring to is the thing we go through in season 2, of course, about it's like a dead wife, dead girlfriend type situation. And yeah, obviously that changed him. I think, again, that change in him away from the Reina style to the Kumiko style is part of the reason why he's making the decisions he's making now, right? I think at the end of the day, Taki cares about winning nationals because that's what the kids want to do, right? If the kids didn't want to win at nationals, he wouldn't force them to win at nationals. It's always been their decision, and that's the thing he's been emphasizing, right? Reina has picked up on this thing that Taki is picking for an absolute meritocracy. It's not the case. We've seen that played out, right? And I think no matter what, he is going to put the experiences and the learnings of the concert ensemble band people before anything else. He's going to be a teacher first and a coach second, right? And a teacher is all about developing people rather than developing skills. Kind of a life coach, a counselor before, you know, the rest of it. And I think that's a good tack to take. Again, that's something I personally agree with, and I think it'd be a really cool direction for the show to go. Like, hey, I'm not always going to make decisions here that are going to be the most calculated picks to win, right? Sometimes it's to get a certain thing out of a certain somebody, and that's more important. And I think Taki always has Kumiko's best interests in mind. I remember season 1, there was that certain part in the playing of the song where it's like, hey, I want you to do this complicated part along with Asuka, right? And she kept practicing it, and then she got took off the part, and then there was that scene at night where it's like, I haven't forgot that you said that you could do it. And then put her back onto it once she showed that improvement, right? Good coaching. Again, I'm rambling. I should get into the thing. I don't have a lot of time here today, but I am fully with Taki. I think I've been shown nothing to be against Taki. I think Taki may be miscalculating his opinion in the club. That is the only thing. And it may lead to rifts and other stuff before we come back together and win, which is probably the structure that the season is taking. And I'm not saying he's perfect in this regard, but I trust him, and that's the most important part. Anyway, let's get into the episode, because there's quite a bit of Mayu in this episode, which I thought was good. I liked the Mayu stuff, and I'm going to need to stop myself from pausing every 2 seconds as well. There's a few things very early on the trip to the camp which I think are interesting, right? We get this look from Matomu, and we know we actually don't know what he does during the summer camp, but he's obviously on his mind right now. We also have our good friend Mayu looking at the solo part and really focusing on the particular playing there. Excuse VLC. There's so many little details, bro. We've got this from Kumiko, which I think is great. Just like, right. And then gets startled when the bus starts up. Like, oh god, yeah, she's actually really nervous about what's going to go on here, right? This is episode 8. It's called Melancholy Ostinato. Let me do a quick Google and see if I can see anything. A short, perpetually repeating sequence in music. Well, we did go to camp again. And we're doing a lot of repeating. Okay, sure, maybe. Maybe I'll see something else with repetition this episode. And melancholy speaks for itself, obviously. I saw somebody else talking about this. We need to praise the framing of Mayu a lot during the rest of the show. I think it was a Sakuga blog article that talked about the rising tensions and kind of this season being really stressful, a really, really stressful one for the characters. And I think a lot of it is the framing of Mayu and it being horror-esque every single time she shows up, always startling Kumiko, right? Like, Kumiko-chan, oh god, no, she's here. Like, she can't hide what she thinks, Kumiko. That's one of her major character traits, and she's really struggling here with Mayu. This again, right? Oh my god. The jump here. Terrifying. I don't know what that is about it, it's terrifying. And this line here, I'd do anything for you, obviously coming through with a lot of her lines later in the episode about throwing the audition, not going for the solo, all that kind of stuff, the stuff which Kumiko continually rebuts, right? Of course there's part of her that wants to play with Reina, obviously, but she has to do what's best for the club, and to do what's best for the club, she needs to promote everybody trying their hardest, and an absolute competitive meritocracy where the best player wins, right? And obviously that's what leads to the rift between Reina and Kumiko at the very end. It's all set up here. Again, I'm not going to pause on everything, but this fucking one shot of the legs as she's going is crazy as well. It's like she's keeping her eyes on Kumiko as her legs are kind of rotating away, right? Bye bye. It's also, you know, in a bit of a twist, not natural. There was also something also on Discord about the spiderweb here, right? And the spiderwebs representing the clubs at various points. I think there was a shot of the spiderweb and it was all a little bit crazy, all a little bit less orderly, and had a butterfly trapped in it. And that was the same time as the cowrie stuff in season 1. And now we have a little bit of an orderly web going on, and a butterfly will be stuck in it by the very end. Kind of, this is the club now. The club used to be disorderly, and the butterfly got trapped. Cool. Bad. And now the club is orderly, and it still gets trapped, which may speak deeper to, I guess, the troubles that come with the order that we've ascribed to it. I thought that was neat when I saw it. Hashimoto and Niyama senseis are back, which is very awesome. Maybe this is part of the repetition thing that we were talking about. Euphonium episodes are really well structured. So we just had kind of the introduction of the teachers, and then Taki just setting the stage a little bit more, jumped right into sectionals, and now we have the base people talking about how nervous it's making them, and bringing up some ideas around tubers, right? Can't all the tubers play? No, that would be 5 tubers. That's too many, right? But apparently Midori has seen 5 tubers before and isn't out of the ordinary. And we do one worse than that, but still, like, that's a lot of tubers, right? And again, we're kind of almost predicting that here a little bit. Just, you know, keep it in the audience's mind. Another really great moment here. I've seen a school with 5 tubers recently. I think it was Ryusei, and all the other characters don't want to say it, and then Kanade is the one that goes out and says it and looks directly at Matomu. But now, Matomu has had character development fucking awesome, and it doesn't get to him as much anymore. He's past that. And this pisses off Kanade because she can't fucking tease him anymore. That's so funny. You're so evil. But again, we'll see your scenes with Matomu a little bit later. Again, it's really funny how all this is set up, because then Midori notices this, and like, he's comfortable with this. Again, for the record, I don't think that the Matomu Midori thing is the romantic confession we think it is. I think he just told Midori about the sister situation and what's going on there. The thing that he refused to do it before, because now he trusts her enough, or is comfortable enough within himself to mention this to her, right? Without it feeling weird, or without wanting to preserve anything or anything like that, right? Either way, proud Midori is fun. I'm really liking her as a senpai this season. It's been quite the fun journey. Oh, there's some tragedy here too. So now we have Reina just out by herself playing the Soli part, as she does. She's that lone wolf, awesome, epic style character that would do something like that. But it also, I think that the ponytail as well, it reminds me a lot of Asuka, right? The flowing black hair, it's meant to, right? The color scheme, the blown out lighting. Yeah, basically, I think we're doing an Asuka here. I'm trying to be Asuka, and Asuka is the picture of everything that's awesome in the club, according to Kumiko, right? And then Kumiko, in that same way, tries to cosplay Asuka at the very end of the episode to limited results, right? I think, again, it's building up this destiny between these two characters that isn't fulfilled, making the ending of the episode and the decisions by Taki all the more tragic. Of course, we have Kumiko's shadow playing her part here, which is something that Mayu notices, right? She really wants to play this. Maybe this is making me reconsider my decision a little bit, leading to scenes later on in the episode where I question if I should even try. And Kanade's smart. She immediately brings up, I think we can make it a nationals if Kumiko and Reina are playing the Soli. You know, you're so evil, but you're so smart. There's a throwaway line there by Taki about the syncopation in the bass section, which could speak to something a little bit deeper with the drama within themselves. And then we have Hashimoto here calling out Tsubame, and then overall just calling out everybody for being tense. No, that's a little bit later. Never mind. Either way, the kids are fucking tired. More Ichido, is I believe we say, which is like one more time again, which is what we're translating it as. Which again, like, they're supposed to play the piece however many times back to back. 20? It was something like that, right? Pretty bad. Like 2 or 3 hours of straight playing. Of course you're fucking tired. I would be tired. Either way, now we're having dinner. My main question here was, how fucking late are these auditions going to be? Especially for high school kids. Like, are they supposed to be up late doing stuff like this? Of course they're going to be stressed out. I don't know. Unless dinner right now is like at 5 p.m. I'm not seeing the structure there for the camp. I think those teachers should be fired. Either way, We have Kanade here being smart again. Mayu is eating with Kumiko, and Kanade comes over and is like, "Oh, she's always very tactical, isn't she, huh?" You know, being her evil self. I've always said it. The devil on Kumiko's shoulder, right? This is what Kumiko's secretly thinking but can't say out loud. Every single time. Even here, I get the sense that you've kind of noticed it too, right? Again, that's your role in the plot, Kanade, right? And then say what? I'm gonna play ignorance, but again, we saw the flashback. She knows what you're talking about. Or you know what she's talking about, I guess I should say. Mayu comes back over and brings the water. She quickly offers to get water for Kanade as well, but then Kanade says, no, I can't let Mayu senpai or whatever get water for me. That would be disrespectful. And again, the two of them know what she's doing, and it's like, sorry about her. No, I like her. She's brutally honest. Again, maybe in contrast to somebody else who's not being particularly honest right now. Again, much like the spiderweb, Kumiko is trapped right now. She can't say what she wants. Like, not at all. That would be go against the entire ethos of the club, and again, the culmination of episode 9 is her going against this ethos and causing that rift. Another really great subtle moment here was the holding of the spoon and the transferring of the hands. It's just a nice little kind of fiddly, what would you call it, mannerism, expresses somebody's nervousness, right? Just kind of, playing with something. It's like a fidget spinner or something, just kind of gets her nerves under control before she asks Kumiko if she wants to play the soli. And then almost without thinking, Kumiko says, sure, if I can. And then, obviously, then she thinks about what she said, and then Mayu's like, keeps eating her food. And then just as they're about to have a deeper conversation about that, I've said before, Reina comes in and pulls Kumiko away. Again, I kept going on and on about it, right? And I think this is part of the important stuff for for Reina next episode, is the emotional part that she's not saying, the tsundere of it all, which is, I really want to play with Kumiko. And that's underscoring a lot of her actions. Even when she acts anti to them, she's frustrated because she can't play with her friend. Again, if you want to read into it, you can. But ultimately, she's picked this persona for herself. She's picked this thing that kind of characterizes herself even in her own mind, and she can't go against her internal logic just for her friend. But again, that's really frustrating her and still making her really angry. I think that's a really, really deep look for the character. I think that's really, really good. Anyway, sees Kumiko having a conversation with Mayu, wants to take Kumiko out of that, play the soli with me, right? Picking Kumiko rather than Mayu. Mayu knows the pull that Reina and Kumiko have in the thing overall. She's not stupid. She sees how close these two are. I think everything that happened in episode 9 proved Mayu correct, which is very, very funny. She's like, this is going to be a disaster. And then, lo and behold, it was a disaster. It's true. And again, Taki's role. Taki sees this right now. Again, adults are better at this shit than kids. I'm telling you right now. They can look at that shit and see, yeah, there's some turmoil here. And Taki sees this and he wants them to get over it and blah, 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 blah. And I think he's using his picks in the auditions as a kind of method to do so. Method to get into their character turmoil. There's two scenes here at this little gazebo. There's one here and there's one next episode with Kanade, both of which I think stand out a lot in the 2-episode sequence I saw. This scene here is basically Reina saying, hey Kumiko, watch out for Mayu, she's pretty good. And less that she's pretty good, more that she knows what Taki wants to hear. Which is, again, if you've done any kind of recruiting, any kind of audition process, any kind of... You want to say what the person wants to hear most of all. That is the best skill you can have almost in life, saying what people want to hear. And again, Reina puts on the moves here. I want to play at nationals with you, gets her all pumped up, of course. There's also a sequence with Kumiko in the bath, in the wake of that, where she's just kind of thinking to herself, thinks back to Mayu, and then shit, I better practice one more time. I'm actually kind of nervous about this. I love this too. We'll talk about this when... it kind of reverses later in the scene, but notice that they're not meeting on any level right now, right? They notice each other in the room. Kumiko is speaking through a mirror. Mayu has her kind of whole body turned around to her. They're not meeting on any level, right? Now let's follow this through the scene. Kind of shifty eyes from Kumiko, bit of pensive stuff from Mayu. Mayu doesn't turn around, but asks if she should forfeit the audition, to which Kumiko stops blow-drying her hair, and puts it down, and then she asks why. You said you'd play, turns around, that's only because you wanted me to. And Kumiko's like, I still want you to play. Of course I do. fully turned around now? It's like, yeah, but you want to play the Soli, don't you? Like Kosaka, Kanade, they all said that this was for the best, right? But still, it wouldn't be in Kitauji's best interests for you to forfeit playing. And then body language, closed off again, right? I'm not that eager to play the Soli. I'm not sure it's in the best interests of the club, as you say. I just want to play with everyone, and everyone wants you to play, which is a great line as well. That's not right. I told you I want the best one to play. Notice Kumiko is still talking through the mirror, right? Still not telling the entire truth. A little bit of a lie, not meeting her on a level. Of course, just saying the classic Kituji line, the best kids play, that's how the school works. And then Mayu finally comes out, the thing that she's been wanting to say the entire time. That's just you being polite. It's not real. It's not going to translate into the end of the episode, right? Where things aren't going to go okay because she's proved completely correct. Completely. And here we go, right? Are you saying that everybody doesn't want to see the president who's been working so hard this entire time, that spot get taken by a new kid? And then Kumiko turns around. Are you telling me that you'd be chosen if you didn't forfeit, right? The first time they're actually meeting, an explosion of anger from Kumiko, right? Because it's actually hitting something real. She's no longer putting on the club president persona and just lying. She's like, hey, you think you're better than me? Basically, it's like an ego trip. It's like she's shocked by that. But it's only hitting this hard for this reaction because it's actually true. She is scared that Mayu's just better than her. And of course, this being the first time they meet on a level, Mayu isn't particularly fiery to begin with. That causes her to close off herself, and that's not what I meant. Close off herself even more again. Kumiko catches herself, apologizes, but still is looking down, right? And Kitauji had this vibe when I entered too. And I guess I'll talk about this now. When's the part when she's auditioning, right? Because we're clearly reflecting this. This was on the Discord, by the way. I think Pencil Sharp said it. So I think this says something to the effect of, I might as well just get up Discord and get the exact translation. It was from a tweet. I think this says something to the effect of, I'm absolutely going to win this audition, right? I'm going to win. I'm the bestest, right? And this is something that's also put on Kaori's audition kind of paper, pages, notes, whatever you want to say, when she auditions, right? Back in season 1. And now what happened to both Kumiko and Kaori is that they didn't get the solo, right? They're still in the club, obviously. They're still playing in the performance, but they're not the solo. And of course, if we go back to this caused ripple effects through the club, obviously, right? Like, this was the biggest drama in season 1, pretty much, right? The biggest club drama, put it that way. The whole audition Kaori, Yuko type beat, right? That was the whole thing that kind of threw everything into chaos. And it's also the part where we bring up the kind of the spiderweb butterfly motif again. And this also speaks to the repetition theme and what we're talking about in the ostinato, right? Constantly repeating piece of music. Here it is, it's repeating again the same thing that happened last time. So let's continue repeating ourselves. Let's put Kumiko in the position of Kaori and then think about who the Yuko might be. The Yuko could be a lot of different people. A lot of people want Kumiko to play. They're invested in Kumiko's journey. And again, the entire time, Kaori always said like, no, I'm okay, I'm fine, blah, 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 blah. But she wasn't being honest. Basically up until the point where another audition was on the table. And then she said, yeah, I'll take it. Like, Yuko in current day could almost be Midori. Midori comes out and she says, I want Kumiko to play. I think that what Taki did was kind of bullshit, right? I think Kanade says something very similar. Kanade would be a nice contemporary as well, considering it's 1 year younger and kind of a doting Kohai type character. It's interesting because Reina is still Reina, and she's got skin in the game now, right? She's fighting against Kumiko, not just Kaori, who's somebody, right? Somebody in the club, but not somebody that she's particularly fond of, not her best friend. And I guess I never really considered this to be that similar, but it really is. And Kumiko here mentions that. She's like, something like this happened in the past, but it's changed now. We're better now, right? But your club right now, it's only 1/3 at most of the people that actually went through that drama as well. So you've got first years and second years this year that don't have that experience. Just keep that in mind, Kumiko. But again, this kind of thing I'm seeing through the entire episode. It got nasty, yeah, but we worked hard to change it. Again, right now in episode 9, it's getting nasty. But I think on the other side of it, we're going to work through and change that. The same thing with the first thing we see this episode in episode 8. Hazuki and Shuichi, right? That was nasty at points. There were tears, but they got over it. Sachan and Suzume, nasty at some points. Well, not really, between each other that we saw. But they got over it. We're just in the nasty section right now, but we're working hard to change it. However, I don't feel like Mayu is convinced. Again, body language is everything, right? She's not convinced by what Kumiko's saying here. Again, quickly turns her back again. I just got to pack up, blah, 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 blah. Looks away from her and lets kind of Mayu leave the room. Actually leaves the room before her. Oh, shit. Yeah, unsure about everything. I don't think what you said was correct. And I question the placement of scenes here, but I think it really, really, really works. So right after that big dramatic scene, one of the best scenes in the entire season, by the way, between Mayu and Kumiko, that's why I went so hard on it, because I think it's really, really good, and probably the highlight of the 2 episodes. That and some stuff in episode 9 is really good too, but let's bring us back in. We have like a very juvenile camp type conversation here between 3 best friends, basically. Big news, Motomu-kun wants to speak to Midori. He said he had something important to tell me, and of course a little bit of a blush. But, you know, traditionally we know what this might mean. However, Kumiko thinks it's like, well, I don't think it's romantic, right? Hazuki, of course, is on the other end of the spectrum, where it's like, it has to mean what I think it means though, right? Not exactly. Even that sound from Kumiko, she's like, not really. And quickly out of that scene, we're straight into the auditions. Kumiko, again, not meeting Mayu eye to eye and just kind of focusing on her own shit. Look at that. That's crazy. She's cold. Mayu-chan, let's do our best. No eye contact. This shit's crazy. Watch the eyes every single time. Watch the eyes when you're watching anime by good studios like Kyoto Animation. You will learn so much. So much. I love these kind of shots in tandem as well. These direct comparisons between Kumiko and Mayu, right? Sits down like that. Obviously, sits down, focused on the instrument, headshot again. It speaks to the fact that their playing ability is so similar as well. Maybe even some portions of their character and not being truthful all the time is similar as well. Straight out of there, we have a cute moment for Reina, right? Where she, like, she's gonna keep this drink as, like, a memento after she learns that it was given by Taki. Look at the face change there. Oh my god. Again, VOC, but... then Kumiko's like, you're crazy. Yeah, that's really fun. Like, Taki got me this drink, I'm going to treasure it forever. Ooh, little fun thing for Kumiko as well. Once she gets the drink as well, she kind of brings it in and kind of, like, rubs the head of it a little bit. Which is like, yeah, obviously I'm not as crazy about Taki as Reina, but I still treasure his opinions and that kind of thing, so something in that maybe. We have Reina reiterating basically what she's going to say constantly for the next little bit. That, you know, we have to trust Taki and his decisions. It's the quickest way to winning national gold. But again, squeezing the drink hard, treasuring Taki's opinion, but not agreeing. This doesn't look like she's truly confident in what she's saying. And again, I want to keep pausing, but I'll just keep reiterating all the things I'm going to say next episode as well. Shuichi is bringing up a good point about certain kids playing and having priority. It's this whole kind of conflict. Again, it's the Yuko thing from season 1 coming forth again. And Shuichi hits the nail on the head here, right? If 2 people were equally capable, wouldn't it be best to pick the one that would please the most of the club? What do you think, President? And she can't really say right now. She's like, she thinks back to a couple of things. Reina's right, but I also got to consider what the rest of the club thinks right now. That, you know, you aren't satisfied with the result. Taki isn't picking the right people, blah, 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 blah. I've got to represent both the club and Reina, right? However, Kumiko then says something she doesn't agree with, the ideal, that Reina is right and that Taki-sensei, what he says goes, and he's got the best interests of the club at mind. Which again, nervousness in the body language, something that she'll challenge later on. I guess I'll talk about it now because it's on the mind. I had a counterpoint to what I've been saying this entire time, that Taki is kind of using the auditions to get character progress out of characters. And somebody said, that's a pretty callous way of looking at it. Like, you know, I'd feel pissed off if a teacher told me to try my hardest and that, you know, the best players are picked and that kind of thing. And then at the end of everything, he just kind of picked it based on kind of his own internal logic about character progress and that kind of thing. It'd feel like a bit of a betrayal. So maybe we'll go into that as well. Again, you guys are only 1 episode ahead of me, so... you know, we don't know yet, but I guess I should say that Midori is down here. Clearly what happened with Motomu has happened. At that same point, we have Kanade and Ririka getting a drink late at night, where Ririka quickly runs away. She's scared of getting caught, so she fucking legs it, but then Kanade sees Motomu walking out alone at night, by himself, right? When I think about scenes at the camp late at night, I always think about Misere in the season 2 camp. Yeah, really good scene there with Kumiko. That's always really fun. Also, a really good scene with Yuko. Yo, the camp at night, there's kind of the best scenes in the show almost. So Midori is listening to Puppy Waltz as well. So I don't know what that song is, but maybe it's got some connotation to maybe what the confession was about. Either way, the whole point of this scene is Midori doesn't want to tell anybody. It's their own little personal secret. It's the same thing that Motomu and Kumiko agreed to before about the same subject, I think, right? That they wouldn't tell anybody about it. Even Midori brings it up here. You knew Kumiko, right? About Motomu, about him. I heard about it and I couldn't stop thinking, people have all sorts of unexpected feelings. At that same point, we have Kanade dropping a drink off for Motomu, who's probably feeling equally sad about making this confession. Like, think about it. It's, hey, I treasure this person in the club, this senpai, like a sibling, like a sister, right? And my actual sister is gone. There's, it's obviously a sore spot. And now I've admitted these feelings. I've got this weight off my chest. But also at that same point, I had to relive all those same feelings that I had when my sister passed away. That's terrible, right? So obviously he's feeling down. Kanade picked this up very subtly and dropped a drink off in a very subtle way. You can see her subtly running away here, not looking like a crazy person at all. Kumiko asks the question here of what Motomu told her. She doesn't tell us and subsequently doesn't tell the audience, but I think that's because you're here. We don't want anybody else to know that is unnecessary to the situation. We're implying it's a confession. I don't think it's a confession, or it's, intentionally obscure. A nice moment here for Reina. She realizes that Midori is obviously feeling some kind of way about the whole situation and gives her the soda that we now know that, Taki gave them. So it's like a gift from him. This kind of adds to the confessional aspect of it as well. Something. Reina's trying to read the room. Yeah, it's good though. It's a nice, I treasure this, says Reina. Now I'm giving this to somebody else. It's good. And then that line to end the scene, Kumiko's been thinking that, this is funny too. Kumiko's been thinking that there's some things that you're better off not knowing. Kumiko then wakes up the next morning at 5 o'clock sharp and thinks, I better do an Asuka now. And then I love this shot here. Oh, look how sad Asuka looks too. Look at that. Oh, shit. And look how young Kumiko looks. That's crazy. You don't realize it until you see it back to back. I guess this is the point as well that Kumiko really realizes that this is her last camp, right? So, this is her last year as well. This is the last time she's doing any of this repetition stuff. So, I better get the part. I better want to play what I want to play, Again, adds to the tragedy of what happens at the very end. I still don't know about this sunflower card to Omae Kumiko-sama, which is crazy. Is this obviously the address, I'm guessing? Kyoto-fu? Yeah, that would be it. I guess the important part here is now she has Asuka's address? Question mark. Is that what we're focusing on here? Something sunflowers as well. Maybe this will come up a little bit later. I believe we talked about the sunflowers, but I can't remember what we said there. Anyway, I'm forgetting. Anyway, in a pretty egregious shot-by-shot repetition again, we have Kumiko doing the Asuka shots. Very interestingly, Mayu, apropos of nothing, was going to go out and do the same thing. She had her instrument, she wanted to go play out here as well. Remember, it's her last chance too. We don't think about it like that, but it is. Something about the Silver UFO, doing this without prompting is something as well. Yeah. Mayu's a pretty good player. Let's just say that. I've already talked about this, so I won't repeat myself, but just, you know what I think. Well, even that, right? It's just that I was going to practice on my own this morning, and then Sachan was already there, so I can't let her beat me. Like this is less Reina and Kumiko and more like Mayu and Kumiko, right? Oh yeah, we were both practicing this morning. I saw that she was already there, right? And I can't let her beat me, so now we're, besties. Look at that. It's far away, but look at the animation there. Yeah, it's adorable, right? Even Yayoi there is really fun. And then immediate, flash contrast between these two. That's obviously where we're going. Everything's going to be okay. Yo, this episode might be the best episode. There's just so many little lines, it makes me want to keep talking about it. Kanade just says Kumiko's the type to want to take the short straw very often. She is right now. She's taking the short straw. And then this line, really? I thought you would just liked being a bleeding heart altruist. Another really great line. The faces too. And this little scene between Kanade and Mayu once Kumiko is gone is really interesting as well. I want to play with everybody. Do you really believe that, Mayu? Maybe she isn't being honest either. Now, again, as always, we build the drama expertly. I love the zoom ins on the clipboard in particular as he reads out who's going to, be in the auditions and that kind of thing. The build of tension in the music. This shot right now, kind of obscured, kind of on an angle. On an angle again. The slow kind of pan, building tension, building something's off though in the camera work. So again, the important parts here is that Kanade misses and we have 4 tubas instead, and then we announce all the soloists. I didn't know that there was going to be a marimba solo, so shoutouts to Tsubame. Oh, and then this is great. So we announced that the soloist for the UFO is going to be Mayu, obviously the big drama point of the episode. Kumiko's face there for a frame was almost like, oh yeah, she's going to say hi. But then, oh no, shit, that wasn't my name at all. And then that shot there, yep, hi, it's going to be me. But also like the look down, then the look up, the determination, but also the worry of what comes next. Immediately everyone gets to talking, Reina looks disappointed, and the big pause off the and so the next piece begins, and there's that butterfly shit that I've been talking about, right? Exact same situation as the first year. Now, that took me an hour. Oh my god. So I hope I go at a better pace in episode 9. So now we're in episode 9. One of the first things that Mayu says is that we don't need to switch spots, right? Because normally the soloist would be furthest to the left, as we've seen on camera right now. And Mayu's like, we shouldn't swap, we're fine, right? And then Kubiko's like, no, I'll swap spots. That's what we do at Kutuji. If you're capable, you come first. Clearly, again, lying to herself. She lies to herself up to like here in the episode, by the way, so get ready for me to say that a lot. There's a really fun character detail here for Kumiko as well that will exacerbate later on, but it's related to Kanade. This episode here is called Dissonant Tuning. Again, pretty obvious. Dissonant is like the opposite of sound. It's discordant. It's like a similar word there, right? But we're also tuning because we're getting better. You know what I mean? So right now I'm strumming the instrument. Let's say it's a guitar. It sounds like shit, right? It's dissonant, right? So then we tune it and it sounds better again. It speaks to progress of things getting better by the end. This is just the working through of it, right? Oh yeah, this is that point, right? We have Hashimoto-sensei here is the one that brings it up. Everybody's really tense, based off what happened in the auditions just then. Again, it fits his character, right? Because look at his character design. He's a pretty loose guy. He plays percussion. It's characterized, sometimes unfairly, as the instruments that are a little bit more chaotic, that the, kind of your brass and your woodwinds and that kind of thing are a little bit more stringent on certain things. Percussion, you can just kind of whack a drum. Again, as always, I'll go back to K-On!, right? One of the most chaotic characters is the drummer, right? Ritsu. It just kind of fits with a percussionist being kind of chaotic, right? The opposite of tense. So he wants to loosen everybody up. Even by saying some random bullshit on purpose to try to get a laugh when he says that he bombed. Again, this knowing look. That's what I was trying to do, get you guys to loosen up, even at the expense of myself. Good teacher stuff. And this is an important line by Taki. Taki, who is pretty absent this episode up until the very end, he says, what's the line here? That's the spirit. Keep your minds loose. The seniors are probably sick of hearing this, but when you play music, you play music. Which Taki repeats. Yep, that's what, You really get it. Do you really get it is an important line too. Yes, I do. Again, I fully trust this man, is my point. They had a little moment there that the audience isn't privy to right now, but I think talks to something that happened previously in their lives. Because remember, the picture is like, they're like old friends. That old picture on the desk that he has with his dead wife. This speaks to something that happened in the past and is like a reassurance. Maybe Taki is secretly really nervous about what he's doing right now as well, and needs some reassurance himself, and that was kind of almost them two giving each other reassurance, which is really good. I think based on the perspective of the show, it's very, very easy to get caught up in the opinions and emotions of the teenage characters, right? But again, adults, and it's been brought up in the theme of the show, are different, right? Things become different when you grow up, right? And I think that's kind of what we're trying to emphasize here as well. This scene here is masterful. Again, the placement of the stairs, the closer to the light, the closer to the conductor, the closer to the stage lights is Mayu up the stairs. Again, not meeting eye to eye. Even when she turns back around, she hasn't turned her entire body. It's only out of obligation that she turns and looks at Mayu. Again, Mayu brings up that she should play the Soli, or no, that Kumiko should play the Soli instead of her, right? I'm begging you, please stop saying that. Because again, it's a sore spot. I really want to play the Soli, but I can't admit it because I'm the president. You don't need to apologize. I'm really not that upset about it. You seem really upset about it, though. You're going back to your room? Can I come with you? No, I just want to take a break. Away from everybody. The eyes here. Like, oh shit, I don't want to fucking speak to this bitch right now. And then, no, I think I'll be okay, haha. Like almost every essence of her being used there to force a smile to the person that she doesn't want to force a smile to at the moment. I feel something like anger. Who is it directed towards? Me? Is it Mayu? Is it something else? That's something else probably being Taki. Kanade is waiting by Kumiko's door and kind of ambushes her, right? You're going to hurt yourself from walking so fast. And then we kind of sit in this similar gazebo from last episode that Kumiko and Reina were talking in, and this is the important moment for Kumiko. And this speaks to the biggest thing overall in this entire thing and her kind of, her actual feelings, right? She hasn't for a second acknowledged that Kanade lost her spot in the concert band entirely. She's not even playing anymore. She doesn't get a shot, bro. She's Team Monica. That's a downgrade. That's a huge downgrade. But speaks to Kumiko's actual internal focus on herself, right? And her situation, and less the club situation. Speaks to what she's feeling actually inside versus to what she projects outwardly. Yeah, she kind of just realized just then that she didn't make the competition. And Kanade, I think in a twinge of actual truthfulness, is like, I was kind of by your kind of room hoping you would console me about that, but you didn't. And then Kumiko actually apologized, and it's like, please don't take me seriously. Yeah, there's a nice little genuine moment here between the two. This is really, really interesting from Kanade as well. She kind of predicted that she would be dropped. We need more tubas to boost the kind of sound of the kind of very, very low bass of the tuba like sound, because Goto isn't there anymore, and he used to play and he was very, very kind of powerful. He played loudly. Obviously, you have two capable Euphonium players already. She knows that she's third string. You know, even though she's a really good player, she's not going to make it all the time. It's a matter of balance. You can't add a member without taking someone away elsewhere. We talk about balance a little bit later on between Kumiko's two sides as well. Let me get out of the jokey portion of the scene, which again is fun. It's a fun moment for Kumiko. It lets her feel some actual genuine levity in spite of everything. But now we're into the serious stuff, right? And notice that I think the clouds go over the sun here as well. Yeah, the sun goes down a little bit more, right? It gets a little bit darker. And we start talking about Taki. If you really intended to have 4 tubas from the start, then why didn't he pick that? He's just meandering. I don't think he's trying to meander. And it's like, do you really think that? Really, really? This is a bit more of the Yuko stuff coming out in you, right? Seeing your senpai missed and not understanding why. Like, I think Taki sensei's decision-making is off. It's off this year, right? So again, there you have the Kohai advocating for the senpai to, challenge the decision and that kind of thing. I think you should play. I think you should investigate why you're not playing. All these kind of things. And then, yeah, we're to another group scene, and there's a few little vignettes that are really fun initially. Hazuki having fun with the fireworks, and then over to Shuichi, who I think is sulking because Kumiko lost her part, which is really funny and really sweet. I like that. Matomu tries to introduce him, try to bring him into the group like Shuichi tried to do with Matomu around the festival time, bring him into the group, but he's not having it at all at the moment. It's also a really deep voice, like really mad at the moment. There was also 2 random girls there, I don't know their names, but they were cheering on Kumiko. I'm cheering for you, Kumiko. Oh, another really great moment here. Long day, seriously long day. And then Reina's like, I still think this is for the best, despite the outcome. Then this face from Kumiko. Like, oh my god, you were like my fucking day one homie and you're still against me? What I'm genuinely feeling, what I'm hiding right now? You're still against that shit? You're still you're glazing Taki that much that you're still not on my side here? The irony of this whole thing is that I believe that Reina in the narrative represents trying to be your best, trying your hardest, effort, competitiveness, all those themings, right? Isn't there an effort to competitiveness and effort of going and complaining when you don't get certain things? But you're that in love with Taki that you can't see that anything that he's doing is wrong. So Kumiko, I think, is displaying traits of Reina in going against Taki, which is in turn frustrating Reina, and she can't really get that out there. That's very clever. That's so clever. Again, at that same point, Reina can't say anything, even if she wanted to, because it would make her look like a massive hypocrite with regards to her actions during her first year. And she thinks that people are noticing that as well, I believe. Reina hears these three girls talking smack and then scares them a little bit, which is fun. The hands on the hips are crazy. The justifications here for Reina as well are really interesting. Like, as my position, I can't let mistrust be thrown around the group and for people to lose faith and lose effort and that kind of thing, right? I need to use my position to do so. You, Kumiko, need to use your position to do so in turn. But by the end of the episode, she doesn't do that. Again, this reaction as well. You don't do stuff like this. Taki-sensei didn't do anything wrong, and continually saying it out loud if you are not conflicted about it yourself. This is what you need to say, not what you want to say. Again and again and again. Again, we saw that scene last episode. She really, really wants Kumiko to play. Really, really, really. But she can't say it. And that's the conflict, right? This is a really fun moment between Tsubame and Mayu. The closest thing to a friend that Mayu has in this whole fucking school. I like this too. She lights a fuse here. Like she lit a fuse when she did what she did in the audition and got the part. Everyone's angry because I ended up with the Soli. And then Tsubame's like, I don't think they're angry. Even though, a lot of people like Kumiko and want her to play. But hearing you play, I've always thought that I wouldn't be surprised if you were chosen. You are good, and you got to realize that you're good. I think you know you're good, though. Because you keep saying that, should I throw because I know I'm going to win? But it's the first time I think I've seen anybody compliment Mayu's playing to her face. Nobody ever does that. And I think that, again, Taki isn't playing favorites. He's genuinely picking those that play the best sound. This is, again, a lot of people bring up this thing that, hey, Kumiko and Mayu, they play almost the exact same. But here we have Tsubame saying almost like, I'm not surprised you were picked. You're very good. You're almost better than Kumiko. And we know there's a connection between Kumiko and Tsubame as well. So there's a lot here. Quickly after that, we have Matomu come up to Kumiko and tell her that Shuichi's sulking, basically. He's acting weird. And again, back turned away. It's nothing. I told you it's nothing. But then Shuichi gets to the heart of the issue. Are you happy with what's going on, Kumiko? I don't think Kuroe is that much better than you. And again, it's really sweet. I can't bring myself to agree with the results like I could before. Because you're not playing. I want you to play the Soli. I know it's important to you. I know that you're caught between a rock and a hard place. And I want to feel bad. It's almost a representation of one of Kumiko's own internal emotions externally, right? Because he likes her. He wants good things to happen to her. It's really cute. It's sweet. I like it. Oh, and this is great too. Snap out of it. Mayu-chan's better than me. That's why she got the part. Notice the shot? We're only barely seeing half of her face. You don't believe this. You're outwardly saying this, but you don't believe it. And again, for the club, she'll say, I'm satisfied with that. Yep, I'm satisfied with that. That's good. But she doesn't really believe it. But again, uses this moment to have like an inspirational moment with her vice president. You're the vice president, get a grip. But in like a really cute way. Oh, this is great again. So every single Mayu scene's so good. She approaches the scene on a level. She comes in, very neutral, not turning away, very honest again. Again, Kumiko-chan, do you want me to swap? But then Kumiko nips it in the bud immediately, doesn't even hear her out. Puts on the president face that she just did for the vice president as well, but in a very much more stern way. You were chosen, so I want you to play properly at the Kansai competition. I want you to work your hardest to make sure Kitauji wins gold at nationals. That is all I have to say. That doesn't sound like something that two friends would say to each other. That sounds like something a club president would say to somebody that's beneath them. That's not the right tact either. Mayu just wants a friend. She wants a genuine friend. And we saw that in episode 7. Like, this isn't it, Kumiko. No. And also you're lying to yourself, and she still knows that. And thus the camp came to an end with unresolved frustrations. I keep saying things publicly that I don't believe privately. After the camp, we come back to school, and we're brought into a little bit of a crisis meeting between the leaders of the various sections, I believe, where people are pretty depressed about missing. How do we keep them encouraged? There's always next time, but again, last year we didn't even make it past this stage, so like, it's pretty difficult. It's pretty big. And Reina does the Reina, closing her eyes, closing herself off. She doesn't believe it as much as she used to, I don't think, right? Like, we can leave them behind if they question. Very authoritarian. She's just like, anybody that questions us, they should die. That's what she said. And Kumiko, again, putting out fires, playing president, some problems will just resolve themselves with time. We just must give them time. Again, continually bringing up how these decisions were a bad thing, right? The mood in the club isn't as light as it was last year, right? Because we're auditioning again. It feels really tense, like we were in that one scene with Hashimoto, right? Now again, this feels like it falls back onto Reina, Kumiko, and Shuichi, right? Because they were the ones that said we should do multiple auditions, right? They almost feel some responsibility for what's going on right now, but aren't being entirely honest when outwardly expressing that. Like Reina, continually lying. I think it's good that we have some sense of urgency. That you don't actually believe that. I don't believe you. Like, we're playing better at the expense of the mood. The two... the devil and the angel on Kumiko's shoulders, again, caught in the middle between these two opinions, right? We aren't achieving anything by suffocating them. But maybe that's the point. Maybe survival of the fittest. Again, that line by Reina, it's not about me. If we're really aiming for gold at nationals, we need to be willing to make this our common sense. We need to be willing to adopt this philosophy that the teacher's always right and that kind of stuff. Don't challenge anything that they say. Just try harder. We didn't win last year or the year before, so we need to make some changes, right? But Shuichi's like, he sees everybody. He sees everybody in the club right now and how fucked up they are. Even Kumiko, right? It's, the subtext here is Kumiko that they're both talking about. Like, you know, we need to make this common sense. We need to make Kumiko believe this. But Kumiko feels bad. I know she feels bad about this. So whatever you say, it's a slight against the girl I like as well. And then turns to Kumiko, and I want to highlight the eyes. The eyes are fantastic here. Turn to Kumiko. The eyes, right? Slight drift that way. Slight drift that way. Like, she's really unsure. And then again, very closed off. I think you're right, Reina. And then, like, gives her a curt smile. Again, I know the you. I know the genuine you. You don't believe that. And then turns away, the hair goes. It almost reminds me of even the initial falling out they had at the very, very start in middle school, right? Just again, not meeting on that level. Yeah, now we've basically just got those two scenes left. We have Hazuki and Midori bringing up that it's tense again, whilst the camera focuses on Kumiko looking at Reina. Now without Hashimoto, it's tense again between these two. And yeah, drama. They're not meeting on a level. Because again, Reina read that scene before. She's like, yeah, Kumiko keeps saying that she agrees with me, but I know her and she doesn't agree with me, and that pisses me off. So she's pissed off. Again, we've said it a lot. She's turning away from Reina right now, like turning her back to her, doesn't want to face whatever's going on over here that she's feeling. And Kumiko really doesn't want to talk about how Kitauji's going right now, doesn't want to mention anything about the club and the atmosphere overall, because she knows that's a sore spot for Reina. How does Kitauji look from your perspective? I know there's a lot going on right now, but it's like our first time doing auditions like this. It was harder than you expected? Yeah, a little bit. She's being... Again, what did we mention very early? These kind of scenes with Kumiko and her friends, the friends that she's had the entire time, are some of the only times that she can actually vent and be herself. But still she's forced into this president role even here. And Midori's the one that brings up that the biggest reason for this is Taki. I think he's changed too much since the Prefectuals, but that's what Taki-sensei decided, so I'm sure that he has his reasons and that he's correct, right? And then Midori's like, I think both you and Mayu are equally capable, and I think that he should have chosen you. And then it's like, oh, you're on that side, huh? Implying that there's two sides in the club that think certain things. And Midori's like, it's not about picking sides, it's about picking which one would have kept the peace within the club. If you're making everybody in the club anxious, Mayu can't feel comfortable and play well as well, so what's the point in any of it, right? Again, my own feelings, I neglected Mayu in all of this as well. She is, despite being picked, I feel like she's still a victim. So do you think she's uncomfortable? Yeah, that's why she keeps coming up to you, Kumiko, and asking if everything's okay. She's uncomfortable as well. And here we have Hazuki, she's being based as usual, where she's just like, personally, I think that Mayu was just chosen purely based on skill. And she looks the camera head on. It's one of the it's one of the first shots where I feel like everybody's being like really genuine, right? And again, she has the correct perspective here. She's the one that's missed out on this entire thing twice, right? She's almost very similar to Reina. That's something that Reina would really agree with, right? And hence she looks at the phone where it vibrates and then Reina's texted. Like, Hazuki would have the perspective of, I need to buckle down and actually try hard if I want to get selected, right? And now she's buckled down and tried hard and gotten selected. She was purely picked based on her increase in her capable playingness and really trusts Taki on that level as well, right? Like, he would have picked Mayu because he thinks Mayu's the better player, right? That's what she genuinely believes right now. And maybe too much of the president stuff has gotten in the way of you actually genuinely practicing and getting better. But again, despite everything, Kumiko still thinks that she should have been picked. Still. And then these two are on the fucking big Kyoto animation river, and we're going to have a big breakup scene, and it's going to be very well directed. So let's watch it. So, Kumiko, what do you think about Taki Sensei's decision? Do you think he made a mistake? You actually think that, don't you? It's like, no, it's not that. It's just that I have a lot of decisions that I don't understand, unlike last year. Or if you're questioning anything, then everything falls apart. Following the instructor's policies is fundamental, right? Right? That's, again, the basis of this entire thing. Almost the basis of our relationship and us getting closer was us meeting on this level. It's deeper than just this year. It's the whole relationship. It's everything. Everyone is following him, but you can't expect people who don't understand his policies to just ignore their concerns and follow him blindly, can you? That's not because they don't understand, it's because they're just ignoring their lack of effort and whining, and they're complaining that things aren't going their way. And then here we go, chat room, they're breaking up, our favorite couple. Oh no. The overhead shots are the ones that are really good here. I really like this really orderly line that we have, and then walking either end of it, going our separate ways. But Kumiko's actually honest. I don't think people are just whining when they complain. I'm not just whining. I have a genuine concern here. But then Hazuki is kind of like, you're genuinely whining? I don't know. It's a really complicated spot for Kumiko, because I don't think she understands why Mayu was picked. Because everybody keeps saying like this and like that and blah 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 blah. I think the best thing is just to go to Taki and talk to him on a level and find some shit out, which is why I like what she does at the end of the episode, which is exactly that. And again, as the president, I can't dismiss people's concerns. I'd be lying if I said I fully trust Taki Sensei on this latest matter, being really honest with Reina, but also separating her. Like, they should be able to talk on a level as well, but you're bringing up as the president, the same way that Reina early in the episode brought up as the drum major. They're using their positions rather than their closeness as actual friends. But again, do you genuinely believe that? Is that something you mean? Yes. Then I think you're a failure of a president. Again, it goes against everything that you believe. But I don't. It's a very complicated issue. There's a lot of opinions. I don't think any of them take into account everything. I'm very, very keen to hear Taki. I want next episode to be like a 10-minute conversation with Taki before going into anything else. I want them to just talk it out. I really, really do. And then we start repairing relationships from there, I believe. Because there is kind of only 3 episodes left. This is obviously our lowest point, I think, right? And then again, it's very well directed. We walk away here, take the steps, walk past her, walk the other direction, reverse shot. A lot of good stuff there. And then I doubt would go to school together tomorrow. And then, yeah, especially, like, it's inconvenient for Reina to bike, but she bikes just so she doesn't have to see Kumiko, which is crazy. At the same time, I was really glad that we didn't say goodbye, is a really good line too. It leaves the door open for a reconciliation, of course. I don't know why, oh my god, what's her name? The sister. Oh, every single time I forget it. Anyway, the sister's home as well. What's wrong? You look devastated. It's true. I keep feeling like this shot in the window, that looks like the classroom. I don't know why, but it does. Oh, that's great too. So Kumiko's on the train, alone, right? She looks down at her phone to this conversation with Reina, and that's like the last things that they've said still, right? Oh no, they're not texting either. And that last look at the door, just seeing if she'll make it. Nope, this is serious. Oh no, oh fuck. Even goes to the bike racks to like look for her, and then I think this is like Kumiko stealing herself. She's like, okay, this is fucked up. Let's try and go fix this. Let's go to the source. Let's see what he thinks. Now again, I'm seeing something, and I don't think this has ever been said like officially, but this is just the vibe. Again, Taki has changed. Taki has changed from a Reina type to more of a well-rounded teacher that's going to teach, right? I think that... I don't think Reina's correct, is what I'm getting at. But I don't think Kumiko's correct either. I think there's some really great between these two, between Mayu, Kumiko, and Reina, that is the perfect position. And I think both sides need to rescind somewhat. It's okay to be mad about results, right? It's okay to question some things sometimes. But at that same point, it can't be because of lack of effort. If anything, I don't think it's because of lack of effort on Kumiko's part. And I think implying that it is lack of effort is something that a friend wouldn't do to another friend. Like, Reina sees how hard Kumiko works. She wouldn't She's almost forced to say that based on her own internal philosophies. And then, Sensei, there's something I want to ask you, and then our next piece will begin next episode. Hopefully, this is a big, long conversation that goes on for 30 minutes to an hour. Hopefully. Again, I've said my piece on the episode. I didn't even reiterate everything, but I don't feel like Taki is wrong. I don't feel like he's wrong. I don't feel like Kumiko is wrong for questioning it, but I don't think Reina is entirely wrong for her position either. Kind of, I think certain portions of it, the authoritarian spin on a lot of it, don't question anything that the teacher says is wrong, but I don't know. I feel like I'm talking around in circles, so I'm going to stop. Obviously, next week is going to be a big one again, episode 10, looking forward to it. This was too much for me to do this week, so this video is going to be very late, and I apologize for it, but I'll stop talking now so I'll have less to edit later on. But this was obviously very good. Probably two of the best episodes thus far. Pretty obviously. We're getting serious now. Pretty serious. But yeah, I'll catch you next week. I'm just gonna, bye. Patreon. But bye.